Welcome to Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning for Tuesday, June 30th. I'm your host, Tom Orr. The Ball State game in 67 days, the game against Michigan in 151 days. We're sponsored today by Jeff Ruby's of Columbus, proudly offering nationally acclaimed USDA prime steaks, seafood and sushi, impeccable service, live entertainment, and an attention to detail that is simply unmatched. Just go to jeffruby.com/Columbus or scan that convenient QR code on the screen to check out the menu and make a reservation today. All right, we're going to welcome in Tony Gerdeman of BuckeyeInsiders.com because Larry Johnson has done it again. Just landed a 5-star commitment in the 247 composite from Marcus Fakatou. Tony Gerdeman just joins me now. He did an instant reaction show on the Buckeye Weekly feed. But Tony, just for people who haven't heard that one yet, just give us sort of the 30-second version of what Ohio State's getting here.
Yeah, that's a 30-second version. I'll say he's got the frame kind of enters Ohio State with the same kind of frame as Cam Hayward when he was a true freshman, like 6'6", 265, 270, and will continue to grow. And is a guy that he plays defensive end now, could certainly outgrow that. And I think he could play defensive end at Ohio State, especially in an odd man front where he's an end in the penny front with the 5 linemen, but maybe he has like an outside linebacker outside of him yet. And also he can slide in on passing downs. He's just, we saw him in person at one of these spring visits, I think. And you're looking at him and you're like, he looks like he can still add weight because he's not slim, but he's not heavy. And so there's a lot that Mickey Marotti can do there.
But comping him to Cam Hayward got me thinking. And so if he has an NFL career as long as Cam Hayward's, he would still be in the league around 2045. So take 1 second to wrap your head around that. All right, deep breath, and we're moving on. The question on today's show is this potentially the 2026 class going to be Larry Johnson's best recruiting class since he's come to Ohio State? And Larry Johnson first showed up in 2014. The answer, I think, might be yes, but we're going to show our work here, and we're also going to sort of give you the caveat that none of these guys are signed yet. Yes, there's a long way to go until signing day. Yes, recruiting rankings can change. Yes, this will maybe also potentially hinge on whether they can add one more guy to this class. But let's just run through the class right now as it is. DJ Jacobs, #1 overall player in the class. He is a 5-star. He is currently committed to Ohio State. Marcus Fakatou, as we said, number 26 player in the class, 5-star, currently committed to the Buckeyes. Wyatt Smith, number 82, 4-star, currently committed to the Buckeyes. Prince Goldsby, number 96, 4-star, currently committed to the Buckeyes. The potential, so that's 4 guys in the top 100 currently committed to Ohio State. And I went back to the 2015, 2014 class. That would be the first time that Larry Johnson has had 4 top 100 players in one recruiting class. If these guys all stay committed, if they all stay ranked where they are, yes, we know, don't worry, we understand. The 5th potential piece to this class is Carlos May. All 4 of those guys are at least sort of projected as edge guys. Do need someone inside. Carlos May is the potential 5th piece of this class. He's currently ranked number 132 in the nation as a 4-star. Tony, if they can get him, that would give them 5 top 150 players in this recruiting class. That is something he has never done. Larry Johnson has never done at Ohio State. If he can do that, the closest they came, do you know, you want to give a guess to which recruiting class would have been the closest they've come to having 5 top 150 players in one defensive line recruiting class?
Boy, that's a good one. I will say, I can't even remember because I was jotting some stuff down. And I think I only started, I don't know that I counted any 5 defensive line classes. How about this? Let's say 2017.
That is a very good guess. It is not correct. They only had a couple guys. You remember in the top 150 that year. You're remembering 2017 because it was Chase Young. And Chase Young maybe you should count as 2 or 3 guys, having now seen his full career. But 2018 is the closest they've gotten. And that's if you include Javonte Jean-Baptiste, who was listed as an outside linebacker, but was recruited with the idea that they were going to have to sort of force feed him peanut butter sandwiches for a year before he could be a defensive end.
And you could say the same thing about Goldsby in this class.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And they narrowly missed that. Tyler Friday was the 5th ranked defensive lineman in that class. He was ranked 154th. The rest of that class was Teron Vincent, number 34. He was just missed being a 5-star. Tyreek Smith, number 58. Tommy Togiai, number 92, Javonte Jean-Baptiste, number 127, and then Tyler Friday at 154. The other class that you look at in terms of depth, in terms of 4 guys being ranked in the top 125, that would be the 2021 class. JT Tuimoloau, number 2, he was a 5-star. Jack Sawyer, number 6, he was a 5-star. Mike Hall, number 37, he was a 4-star. Tyleik Williams, number 124, he was a 4-star. And that one is sort of the gold standard of recent defensive line classes at Ohio State. Obviously, 3 of those guys were really, really key parts of that national championship season that the Buckeyes had in 2024. If you're looking at that kind of season, and that has been one of those seasons where we've talked about that on message boards recently, where it's, people look at that and go, well, obviously you're not going to have a class like that again. That's not realistic. It seems like they're actually on track to potentially do that.
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing is here, you just shared 2 classes, very highly ranked, one with 5 guys, and when you look at those names, you're like, well, how many of those guys were as successful as their rankings would have suggested they should be? And the number is low. Whereas you look at the 2021 class, and those guys all contributed, all started at times. So you see that for the people who say, yeah, recruiting is, I'm not going to buy it. It's like, well, the 2021 class shows that it's okay to buy it. The 2018 class shows that keep the receipt, that sort of thing. And this class, I feel like you just said something a couple minutes ago about Larry Johnson never doing something before and possibly doing it now. If you're saying that, and we're approaching something that Larry Johnson has never done, that means something to me, because he's been around a while and he's done a lot. He's sent a lot of guys to the NFL. He's had some really good classes. And if you're going to tell me that based on these rankings, that's something that he's never done, assuming everything goes as people think it may, then I'm going to be impressed by that for sure. And I think that's going to be a huge thing for Ohio State. Now, will it be more 2018 or more 2021? We'll see. But I'm saying it's okay to be excited about a class that Larry Johnson has brought in that ranks higher than anything he's ever done before.
Yeah, Larry Johnson has been around long enough that has never happened before means something. This is not, has never happened before, asterisk, sample size of 3 seasons. This is a guy who's been around for a long time and has done it at a pretty high level for a long time. And if you're looking for another reason to be encouraged, I'm just going to read you the top 150 defensive linemen that Ohio State has recruited since, we'll go back to the 2019 class. So the 2018 class, we just read that. They had, in 2019, they had Zach Harrison, who played out his career 5-star, had a really good, solid career off to the NFL. Did not recruit one in 2020. 2021, you know those names, 4 guys who had very good careers at Ohio State off to the NFL. 2022, they had 2 top 100 guys, Amari Abor, who transferred and didn't pan out, and Kenyatta Jackson, who very much did. And then 4 top 150 guys, so those 2 plus Hero Kanu, who had a decent career at Ohio State, transferred to Texas. Still, he's going to be an impact player there. And Caden Curry, who had a great just finished up a great career at Ohio State. 2023, Jason Moore was the only top 100 guy. He still has another year left at Ohio State. The other guys in the top 150, Caden McDonald, who just wrapped up his career, and Joshua Mickens, who ended up transferring. And then 2024, 1 guy, top 50, that was Edric Houston. 2025, 2 guys in the top 150, Zion Grady and Epi Satanale. 2026, Kari Wilder was a top 100, and Emmanuel Ruffin, top 150. The thing that jumps out to me there, Tony, is they've had lots of guys transfer. Lots of guys over the years. They lost an entire defensive tackle class a year ago to the transfer portal. But it's these guys that we're talking about, the sort of blue chip guys, top 150 guys. Boy, there are not a lot of misses there. Jason Moore is still, you're kind of grading him incomplete. Joshua Mickens didn't pan out. Amari Abor didn't pan out. Everyone else there, those are names that have at least been, okay, you give them, if you're grading them pass fail, those are all passes at the very least.
Yeah, for all of the credit that Larry Johnson gets as a recruiter, he also gets credit as a developer. And that's the perfect kind of thing that you need with your position coaches, where it's not one or the other. It's not somebody who's always fighting from the ground up because he can't recruit, but he can develop, and he's going to turn this 2-star South Dakota quarterback into an eventual fifth-year defensive end. He's not going to take a number 3 player in the nation and turn them into an undrafted free agent on a regular basis. So he can do both of those things, and the results are there. So I think this is always a home run hire for Urban Meyer, and it was a home run retention for Ryan Day. And it hasn't always gone perfectly, and it's not going perfectly now. You mentioned 2020, nobody in the top 150. And so there's some fluctuations, but the way things are going now, when you're able to go into anywhere now, California, the Deep South, doesn't matter, and you have equal footing, then Ohio State's going to have some intrinsic just advantages there.
And just to sort of round out the exercise, the 2017 class, Chase Young was the number 4 player in the nation, a 5-star. Haskell Garrett, number 74, a 4-star. 2016, that was one of the classes where they had 2 5-stars. This year, 2021 and 2016, those are the 3 years they've had 2 5-stars committed. That was Nick Bosa, number 10 overall. Jonathon Cooper, number 32 overall. Also had Malik Barrow in that class, number 63. And then Larry's first full class at Ohio State was Draymond Jones, number 68, a 4-star. Ja'Shawn Cornell, number 98, a 4-star. So there you go. The question, could this be Larry Johnson's best recruiting class at Ohio State? The answer is, if things stay as they are right now, yes. If they add Carlos May, definitely yes. There's still a long way to go till signing day. We will be going all that way to signing day and beyond with you at BuckeyeInsiders.com. That site is set to launch in about a week. We will give you a detailed update on exactly what our launch date is going to be very soon. If you have not signed up for email updates, go to BuckeyeInsiders.com right now. Throw your email address in there. We'll send out an email update very shortly when we have an official launch date. We'll have some exciting news about some promotions and some exciting events we got coming up as well. That is all at BuckeyeInsiders.com. And thanks again to our friends at Jeff Ruby's Columbus, the award-winning upscale steakhouse in downtown Columbus. Named one of the top 50 steakhouses in America by Food Network. Just go to jeffruby.com/Columbus to check out the menu and make a reservation today. That will do it for today. Thank you guys all for joining us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.